Hey guys, Sam Cooper here. Hope you're doing well. It's Monday afternoon, just doing a quick walk and talk with Jasper the dog. Jasper, say hi. While others are dancing. So I was watching a short, I think it was, the other day on YouTube, and there was a guy interviewing Jeff Bezos on stage. So for those who don't know, Jeff Bezos is the founder of Amazon, and he got asked a question around if you were going to start a business again now, what would it be? And or something along those sort of lines. Now, I kind of thought, and probably a lot of people thought, he's going to look for something that's kind of, really high from a technology point of view, or kind of really pushing the boundaries of technology. What's the next kind of best thing going to happen? And actually, what he said was really profound, and I thought it was really, really brilliant. Actually, he said, "What I would look for is what's going to be around in the next 10 years." And really, he related this back to Amazon by sort of saying, people are always going to want cheap prices. People are always going to want things delivered really quickly. People are always going to want, really good service. So this is kind of how he related it back to his Amazon business. And actually, I thought it was a really interesting take on things. And I looked at it from a business point of view. And it's one of the things when I've looked at businesses since running the van racking business, I've always looked at businesses with this kind of lens on as, is it what I call a bog roll business, which, is a bit of a play back to the, it kind of got proven right in the pandemic. People went crazy buying bog rolls, and essentially it's and it's not really the thought process behind why people bought bog rolls, but it was that whole thing about what are people always going to need? What is the thing that people what are people going to need still in 10 years time? Because it takes a lot of time and effort to start a business, both from a financial point of view, and both from a an emotional commitment to time, and also just the amount of time and effort you have to kind of put in. It's like a massive flywheel to kind of get a business running. Now, that business isn't going to be around in kind of 5 or 10 years time. It's almost, what's the point? What's the point starting it? I'm all up for creating long-term legacy type sort of stuff, and it's one of the reasons why when we left the van racking business, I focused my efforts in the property sector, because people are always going to need a roof over their head. They're always going to need somewhere to live, especially in the UK. We live on an island. There's an old saying that goes, buy land because they're not building it anymore. We live on an island. The population's going up and up and up. They can't keep pace with the population from a building houses point of view. To me, there's always going to be a demand for good quality housing in good locations. As converse to kind of what happened with the van racking business is that when we hit kind of recessionary times in the van racking business, customers had the choice whether they bought or not, and because they stopped buying vans, essentially they then stopped buying our products. And because they stopped buying our products, they then obviously our business went down, but we had absolutely zero control over that. That was something in the marketplace that was completely outside of our control, but we were caught up in it because those were our customers, and that's who we were kind of serving at that time. So from then on, I've always thought about what products or service can we provide that customers are always going to need. Like I say, housing is one of them. You could look at other industries such as food. People are always going to need to buy food in one form or another. You could look at it from a what else? From a like a shop point of view, it's kind of it's all about experiential sort of thing. So people going somewhere for to enjoy the experience of actually going there, or to mix with other people. So it's things like going to kind of gyms, for example. That's what Jasper's just seen another dog. He's going a bit crazy. Going to gyms, going to cafes, going to restaurants. All these places are probably going to be, I call them, funnily enough, talking about Jeff Bezos, Amazonable unamazonable, bit of a mouthful, but essentially, you know, it can't be taken over by an online business, because, you know, most businesses nowadays, you've seen the high street absolutely kind of decimated because, you know, a lot of stuff's gone online, and a lot of stuff now you can do online. So it's about thinking about, you know, if you are, you know, setting up a business or you know, running a business, and you're thinking about like a new product or a new service, is, you know, how can you mitigate the risk from its you know, competition online, and what does that kind of look like? But yeah, so that was just a kind of a few musings around you know, this whole kind of thing about thinking about, you know, will this business still be necessary or viable in 10 years time, and thinking about, you know, what's likely to still be around or still needed in 10 years time, because there's a lot of stuff you can kind of look at and question, you know, and especially sort of like things from a technology point of view, you know, some stuff you might be able to figure out and kind of see it coming. Other stuff, you know, if you think back, things like, you know, some massive names have gone bust over the last few years because they just didn't see the change happening, and it's you know, driven by technology. You know, one of them, for example, you know, things like, you know, I work for Blockbuster. That's kind of where I started my career, you know, and you know, I don't think Blockbuster saw the threat, if you like, you know, or they saw it and it was too late. In fact, they tried to buy, or Netflix tried to sell to Blockbuster quite a few years before Blockbuster went bust, and you know, they didn't go for it, which is quite an interesting story. If you've not seen the story of Netflix, then it's definitely worth a read. So yeah, so just thinking about, you know, what are the relevant businesses going to be in the next 10 years, and rather than thinking about, you know, what's the next fancy bit of technology that's going to you know, enable us to do something, which is great. You can make a lot of money of that, but you've also got to be prepared for the risk of it. You know, it might disappear as quickly as it came in. It's like, you know, what businesses are still going to be around in you know, in the next 10 years. So hope that's useful. Let me know your thoughts. Speak to you all soon. Take care. Cheers. Bye.